welcome to Wytpods. I'm Laura Faye, and we have a special guest, Anthony, today from NashCo Furniture. Anthony, I am really excited to learn all about your company, and what makes you tick and what you have. So if you don't mind, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your journey?
Yeah, yeah, I've had my stores now for about 13 years, coming up on 14 years. I got involved in the furniture business out of college, so really was trying to figure out what to do at 21, and was offered an opportunity to start selling mattresses out of a warehouse with a guy. Um, Needed a beer money gig at the time, and kind of turned into a bunch of friends that worked together. We all spread out, opened our own locations, kind of all over the southeast. At that time, worked through one distributor, um, and then in 2017, I broke apart from that group and rebranded my business to what it is today, NashCo Furniture. We've been open in Nashville for 13 years. We opened a sister store in Jacksonville, Florida called NashCo Furniture
Okay.
in 2018. So we're about 6 years there now, and then opened a second location in the Nashville market in Columbia, about an hour south, the beginning of last year. And now we're working on a third location in the Nashville market that'll be opening in September.
Wow, that's great. So you've had a lot of growth.
Yeah, it's been a good, you know, good 10, 12 years.
That's really good. And you're still going strong, better with every year, right?
For sure. Trying to be that way with the bumps and bruises along the way.
We all have them. We all have them. Can you tell me a little bit about your brand?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I rebranded in 2017, and one of the things that we kind of got pushed as a young entrepreneur going through a distribution channel was profit center, profit center, profit center. You know, open your own profit center. That's how you make your money. This, that, and the other. And when I really kind of started thinking about what kind of impact we could have in the communities we work in, I really wanted to become more of a community partner than a profit center. I wanted to find a way that we could take what we have, our little place in the world with furniture and mattresses, help our communities with that. So when we rebranded as NashCo, obviously it becomes a much more hometown team,
Yeah.
being in Nashville. But that was something that we were really excited about, was the opportunity to become a community partner. We believe that, if we can do things within the community, if we can help things within the community, the profit center mentality kind of comes along with that, where we can, gain a bigger market share um, based on what we can offer. So that's kind of how NashCo came about. Our sister store, Jacksco, same situation. We've got partners in the communities. So in Nashville, we work with a couple organizations that help veterans that are transitioning from homelessness. In Jacksonville, we've got a group that we work with that helps underprivileged kids get into beds. So we donate mattresses to veterans, to kids, bunk beds, just to help really people that are, less fortunate in the communities. And that's, again, kind of how we can work our piece of the world with what we have in front of us. So
That's really, really good. That especially during these crazy times in the world, like that is just a beautiful thing to hear. I have a lot of respect for that. I think that's really, really nice. Really nice. So what made you actually get into the furniture business? Like what are your passions? What are you so passionate about?
yeah, so I'll say when I first got into it, there was really no passion. It was just an opportunity to make a couple extra bucks, fund my my fun habits. And at the time I actually played arena football for a couple of years after college, and won a ton of money in that. But in between seasons I could work and stash some money away. So I really think once I got involved, and once I got opened my store in 2011, after a couple of years, you really start gaining an appreciation for the business. I think when I look at furniture and a furniture store, I think there's a lot more than just the pieces that you're selling. So when I look at it, there's a sense of pride for customers because it's something they're going to show off in their home, right? So especially a living room group, a dining room group, you have friends over, you're going to sit on that sofa, that sectional with your friends. So there's a part of pride that kind of develops your own personality, your own style. I think furniture is fashion. I've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
But so that your sofa can really be an expression of who you are, what you like. The second part is comfort, right? You want to come home, you want to be able to get into your spot every day, whether it's curled up on your little corner of the couch or your bed. or whatever it is, sitting down at a table with your family. So there's a comfort piece to furniture that's not just not just the actual comfort of the cushion, but a comfortable feeling of, hey, I'm home. This is me. This is my spot. This is where I want to be. So I think furniture's fashion. I think there's a comfort piece of it. And I think that, again, the pride piece of it where, you work hard for it. Furniture is one of the bigger purchases of your life. So
Yeah.
outside of a home and a car, possibly jewelry,
Yeah.
but things that you actually need, furniture is really in the top 3 or top 4 of things that you actually need. So you really take pride in being able to offer somebody that, because once they get what they want, they love it in their house. There's a confidence that they have, and a comfort that they have having that piece of furniture that you wouldn't think of. I didn't think of it like that when I first got started in the business. It wasn't until I was in the business for a while that I really started kind of restructuring the way I thought about furniture, and what it can mean to people outside of just the piece itself.
That is a really, really good point, because it almost becomes an extension of you. I know that, my mom passed away 7 years ago, and I know that there's certain pieces that I look at that have a memory, and like, that's my mom's chair. My mom always used to
Yeah,
sit in the chair. So you don't realize it, but when you point it out, it's personal.
for sure. Yeah, I've
That-
actually got I've got a table from my grandmother that, we used to sit at as a card table that, it's old as can be, but it was a piece that was part of my childhood.
Yeah.
My mom has some of the furniture from my grandmother's house in her home that's been around for 30 or 40 years, but it's an extension of her upbringing, of taking her back home a little bit too. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that people don't think about when they think about just the product itself.
Absolutely. And you actually answered one of my questions, because I was going to ask you what differentiated you from other furniture companies, but I think it's pretty clear that everything that you're doing and all the craftsmanship is from the heart. There's meaning put into it. It's quality, right? And then the veterans and all of that. But if there's anything that you want to add to what differentiates you from another furniture company, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I think just having a reason for it is what differentiates us. Creating an environment for our customers, our clients, that they're comfortable in, because at the end of the day, they're shopping for that comfort spot in their home. So if we can create an environment that's comfortable for them to be, coming in, shopping with us, friendly and comfortable, that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely. No, that makes total sense. And you conveyed that very, very well. Very well. As far as getting yourself recognized, right? Because you can have the best of everything, but what marketing strategies have you found to be the most effective thus far?
Yeah, I think it's changed over the years. We started off as a very low budget marketing platform, so we worked on Craigslist a ton when we first got started. We were the annoying people that had road signs all over the town that had your $200 queen pillow top mattresses, and that's how we got started. That really true guerrilla marketing piece, and I think we've been able to keep that going, but obviously through different channels. So social media wasn't around, or it wasn't as prevalent when we first got started. So it was around, but it wasn't a marketing piece. It was a community piece.
Yeah.
So getting involved in social media and kind of keeping up with the trends between TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. I think Facebook's changed, 20 times over the last 5 years, how you can market, how you can target, and then kind of what your strategy is going to be to reach the right people. That's a big part of what we do. Our campaigns for traditional media have always been a little bit different. We try to try to show our personality in that, so that you're not just seeing the same white noise all the time. At the end of the day, if you see a car commercial or a furniture commercial, a lot of them are kind of the same. So we try to have some marketing strategies that differentiate us from what else you're going to see. Try to make it a little more memorable, and then we really refer on referrals and return customers a ton. So we've been able to build a strong base of referrals from return customers. And again, that just goes to, if you treat one person right, the extension that you can have from that one customer, can be tenfold. And the
Yeah,
same on the
down the
other way.
line.
If you have an issue and you don't take care of it, it can be tenfold in a negative way. So we want to make sure we're taking care of the customers that we have. If there's issues, we're standing behind not only our product but our company.
Right.
More importantly.
because with the customer, you can gain the generations of that customer. I know I just went furniture shopping this weekend. My son is going to college. I need things for him, right? He's going to be getting an
Yeah.
apartment senior year. That's another story.
Yeah.
But I know because I went to the furniture stores that my mom took me to, and I remembered going with her for things for my first home or for college dorm or whatever it may be. So one customer is equivalent to a generation of customers, right?
Certainly, yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, you have people that get their first apartment, and then when they're done with their first apartment, they're getting their first home, and then maybe they have kids and they need a kid's bedroom. So you know, we want to earn a customer for a lifetime. We want to be able to work with them throughout the different stages of their processes. So you know, if somebody needs a promotional piece, we want to be able to kind of fill the whole realm of what they're looking for. If they're starting off with a promotional sofa and then they want to upgrade the next time they come along, we want to be able to offer everything to them, just wherever they're at in their journey.
Right, right. That's all great points, all great points. So every company has its challenges. We know that, like you had mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
bumps along the way, right?
yeah,
What's been your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it? I'm always curious.
yeah. I mean, I think there's been a multitude of them through the years. So I'll kind of share a story that looking back on it, we got through it, but looking back on it, I was like, wow, that really could have been different. In 2013, I had a small staff. It was only myself and three other people working with me, and two of those uh, guys were brothers, good friends of mine. Uh, they were in a bad car accident. One of them passed away. The other one was hurt pretty significantly. Ended up having to go back home. Luckily at that time I had a network with the group that I was in. It was a bunch of my buddies from college, and I had a huge support system. So uh, the one guy that was left had just kind of come on full time about 6 weeks before. So while I'm kind of out helping out with uh, arrangements and everything, trying to get the family situated. I had people coming in from all over the place, from different markets that we had stores in to come and help out. So that was a huge thing. Looking back, like I said, we got through it. It seems looking back like it was somewhat smooth, but obviously it was a tough time to get through. And then just to get through, um, just to get through the new, all the open invoices, kind of make sure you have to explain to customers. It's not a fun thing to talk about over and over again with customers. So that was one thing. I think the second challenge was rebranding. So even though it was a positive, rebranding was it's a big deal when you're 7 years in and then you're changing your brand. And we got unfortunately we got caught in a tough winter also.
Yeah.
So we changed the name of the store in January of 2018. We finished the brand and everything in 2017. But it was so cold that winter that I couldn't get signs up. So we
Wow.
went for a month and a half without a sign on the building. So I had removed obviously the old material from the company I was with, trying to get the new signs up for the new company. And there was a month and a half, almost 2 months before we had a sign up. So we were still getting people to come in. You obviously had an open sign on the door, but there was no branding, no visual of who we were.
Wow.
So that was a challenge. And then going through COVID, you could probably
Yeah.
talk to any retailer, but the COVID challenges were wild.
Say the least, right?
Yeah, just unthinkable that we went through a month and a half, 2 months of not knowing if or when we could open the doors, kind of having to do things by appointment because at the end of the day our bills didn't stop. So we're running people in, we're having to let them in, lock the door, have a couple
Yeah.
people at a time, keep it, only allow two people in at a time. I had a couple people that stuck with me through COVID, and that was obviously a challenging time. And then we had the boom afterwards. Then we had the challenge with freight afterwards, and then now we're kind of coming back off of that. Where I think furniture is kind of a crazy industry where everything else has had inflation. Furniture has actually been the one industry that comes back. So we started off. I started doing this in 2007, so I'm 17 years into furniture, and your starting price point for a sofa and for a mattress is the same today as it was in 2007.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I think I think we're the only industry that doesn't come back down. Cars have gone up and they've stayed up.
Yeah.
Homes have gone up and they've stayed up. The furniture industry's come back down, and it's been so you're fighting a battle of inflated prices that we all dealt with for 2 years, and now
Yeah.
trying to maintain.
Yeah.
Um, maintain a level of business that, really was unrealistic for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But now you're back down
Well, that's
a
good. That's
little
good.
bit to
We need
reality. So
that.
yeah,
We
for
need
sure.
that.
Yeah, oh, it is 100% a thing that, as I go to the grocery store and see what I'm spending every time, it's great to be able to still offer values that aren't totally out of control.
Absolutely. Those are great points. I would have never even realized that because I would never think, oh, furniture has gone up there, but that's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to give you a crystal ball. We all wish that we had one, right? I'm going
Sure.
to crystal ball. In that crystal ball for the future of your company, what do you see? What are your goals?
So as I mentioned at the beginning, we're opening a new location in a smaller town. It's actually the town that I live in here outside of Nashville. And that's going to be more of a boutique style setting. So more design oriented, really just to be able to offer more product to to a bigger market. Um, so it's going to be more boutique style, more custom furniture um, with a local flair. So, we're really going to try to just expand our market base, in the Nashville market. And I think that if we can take this concept, and make it work, I think we could have these little pocket of smaller boutique showrooms where you're not having to rely on massive, warehouses or massive showrooms. Because at the end of the day, real estate is just a little out of control, especially in the markets that we're in. So luckily, we're in booming economies with Nashville and Jacksonville. But with that comes some serious costs of overhead. Um,
Yeah.
with real estate. So and a lack of availability for real estate for what you really need. So in a perfect world, honestly, if we can just maintain where we're at and keep doing well and keep growing our markets where we're at now, everybody's happy. My wife's getting involved in the business now, so I'm excited for that. So she's going to be able to put her twist and her flair on everything.
Yeah.
But if we maintain where we're at, that's awesome. If there's opportunities for growth, then we'll definitely take advantage of them.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Anthony, you gave me a great overview of the company. You dug a little bit into the what you're giving back and the passion that you put into the company. This has been such a pleasure. I appreciate you sharing all of this with me, and I have a funny feeling you're going to have a lot of success ahead of you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.